Well, good frosty morning, friends. Welcome to this week's video. This is going to be an update, health update going on. If you're following my health journey with Wegener's Granulomatosis GPA, that's what this is about. So if you're not into that, you might not find this video very interesting. If you are, stick around. Well, I'm just waiting for the vehicle to thaw out. I have to go get a blood draw this morning. A few weeks ago, I was in the hospital, and I was in there for 4 days, had some liver issues going on. They thought potentially getting into some liver failure. They weren't sure, wanted to check things out. All of my numbers were way high. I had a lot of pain going on, and I first got in there and people were, saying different things. And anyway, as it turned out, I had an infection in my liver, and my liver was inflamed, my gallbladder's inflamed, my pancreas is inflamed. So after 4 days of antibiotics and laying in the hospital, they thought that was under control and was all better, and they could send me home. Well, they didn't say it was all better, but they thought it was far enough along that they could safely send me home, and basically told me if I drink a lot of fluids, everything should continue to get better. So after that, I was out of the hospital, and several days went by. So anyway, they did order some additional follow-up testing, and I went in and did that testing. And I have some video of me going to do that. I'll share that here. Well, hello friends. We are driving in a vehicle. Do I look yellow on there? I should look a little yellow to you. I'm having bilirubin issues. I was in the hospital. I had some issues going on. They weren't sure what was going on, did different things, figure it out. And what they sorted out was that it seemed like I was going into possible liver failure. And anyway, through all that, I ended up with a different hepatologist, liver doctor. And this other liver doctor, he gave his opinion as well, and which agrees with the other one. So through all that, they got that under control, gave me a bunch of antibiotics and some other things and a lot of liquids, and everything seemed to be under control. And I went home from the hospital, and I had a few days at home before there was a wedding. We ended up going to a wedding. I don't have permission to show you any photos from the wedding, so sorry, you have to miss out on that. But we do have a picture of a buffalo that was mounted and hanging on the wall, so I'll show you that. That's pretty cool, huh? Anyway, now that that is passed, I was supposed to get a liver biopsy, and I got that liver biopsy, and they did that, and we're waiting for results to come back from the liver biopsy. So before those liver biopsy results even come back, I'm already having issues with bilirubin, and yellowing of the skin is just one of the things. But if you're familiar with bilirubin, you'll know what else is signs of that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going now for some stat testing. They're going to do a CAT scan and more blood draws to see what's happening. Things were looking kind of sketchy as I was starting to have issues with bilirubin and getting jaundice and all that. So those numbers came back pretty high, and I ended up going to a hospital again. I ended up actually changing hepatologists. The hepatologist that I was with wanted me to go see somebody else who was more specialized in what he was. He had recommended me to a certain person. Of course, that guy wasn't available, so I ended up with somebody else, but he seems pretty good too, so I'm sticking with this one. So anyway, I ended up back in the hospital for 6 more days. Yeah, it's never fun being in a hospital. They ended up saying that, yeah, I did have infection in my liver, and they felt that that was clearing up, but that's what they thought previously too. But anyway, yeah, they thought the infection was clearing up, and the difficulties I was having was from the infection, Plus, I also have what's called drug-induced liver injury from the meds that they treat the Wegeners with. Now, they're finding that what is affecting my liver is, they had a name for it. Basically, my bile ducts get clogged because my body isn't making bile properly, and it's very thick, and it's clogging the bile ducts. So they got me a medication for that. It's supposed to thin the bile ducts, but it changes a lot of stuff. It thins the bile coming through the bile ducts, so that I shouldn't have issues with that. When a bile duct gets clogged, those of you who've had gallbladder issues would probably relate to this. This is not a gallbladder issue, but people who have had gallstones have experienced something very similar. If they would remove my gallbladder, it would do absolutely nothing for this. The bile ducts would still get clogged. It's the bile itself, not the gallbladder. So every time a bile duct gets clogged, it's like having a gallbladder attack, like a gallstone attack, and I've had several of them. And I'll tell you what, that is some of the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. I would say probably the worst pain I've ever had. And I've had several of them, and yeah, it's just not nice. So anyway, that's what's going on there. But this medicine is supposed to thin it out, but it changes a lot of other things. It changes my blood pressure, and I'm already on blood pressure medicine, so they have to readjust all that. My blood pressure was crazy low when I first started taking this stuff. I think I was at, I think the lowest one I remember, I was at like 95 over 58. 95 over 58. And that's dangerous. So anyway, my doctor was like, very much like, do not take any more blood pressure medicine. Leave the blood pressure medicine alone. You know, I'm supposed to be going, I'm going a few days, half a week here with no blood pressure medicine. Just the this other medicine for the liver issue. This whole thing has been just a crazy journey, but I'm glad they're getting it figured out. It seems like there are things that they can do. It's just a matter of going through the steps to figure it out. So I'm glad for that, but I don't like being sick. Anyway, looks like the windows are getting thawed out here, so I need to hit the road, go get my blood draw, and see where things are at. For the last several weeks, I have not driven at all. My wife has been driving me everywhere. I have just been so sick, and it's been horrible, really. Got some high water signs around here. We've had some high water. I haven't really seen much of it. Here's a shot of at home. Our little pond is pretty full right now, and you know, it's not running over. Of course, you know, the extra overflow is running, but it's actually, it looks real nice, you know. All right, well, blood draw is over with. I need to now go home. I was fasting for this, and then I'm going to pick up my wife, and she's going to drive me to another doctor for a follow-up. I just got out of the hospital a few days ago. I don't remember when. This is a few days ago. So yeah, she's going to drive me over for follow-up. Now, the reason she's not along today, I actually got up pretty early, like, well, not too early, but I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock. And it's a little earlier than she wanted, so I drove myself over here to get blood draw. And then she's taking me to the doctor, which is even further away. So yeah, got to pick her up, and we'll be doing that. All right, well, we're back home. Sorry we didn't film much at the doctor's office or on the way to or from. Just kind of got away from us. Hard to film, you know, when you're not feeling well, and you really can't film in those places anyway. So anyway, thank you for watching this week's video. Hope that you found it helpful, enjoyable, etc.
God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to receive notifications when we do upload the next video, hit that notification bell. And check out our channel. We have several videos just like this one or very similar. We do various things including hiking, biking, boating, fishing, builds of various kinds, mostly outdoor activities. Some homesteading is thrown in there as well. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.